It's interesting that you brought that up because you recently had a post on LinkedIn about how to apply that same logic to prospecting. And I was like, this is the best differentiated prospecting email I've heard of in forever. And, you know, we've sort of entered into what I refer to as kind of a dark ages of sales development, which is like, you know, people are either just kind of spraying and praying like they were, you know, forever ago, or they're using really outdated tactics. I mean, like I can't, like the number of fourth emails I get where it's like, pick an option. And the fourth one is you've been eaten by an alligator. It's like, it's outrageous how much I see that junk. So, just like trying to show some level of empathy. Like I know what you're going through, or at least like we work with companies that are going through this problem, and that could be something that's affecting you, right? Like not that language, but just trying to get into your buyer's mindset a little bit, as opposed to doing the, like, what's keeping you up at night, leading with this is what's keeping people like you up at night. We know it. We've been solving it for other businesses. Maybe that sounds like yours. Maybe it doesn't. If it doesn't, God bless, you're on your way. But if it does, it might be worth a conversation.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, some of the best prospecting. No, go ahead, Craig.
Oh, I hate to say that I did miss this one. So this was a prospecting email that Chris was recommending.
Yeah.
And I get the gist. We're leading with empathy. At least a impression that we understand their business in some way, or their industry. Okay.
Some of the best prospecting messages don't even like talk about the product or what you do or even its benefits. It's just like a very well articulated grasp of the challenges they're probably going through. And we've been able to help a bunch of other companies solve this. Is it worth a chat to see if is this challenge worth a live chat? And that's it.
Okay. Got it. But what you're doing though, I mean, is that from specific company research? So I'm looking at where Matt's census and I'm writing it deliberately for them based on what I know about them? Or is that coming from a place of like at least market understanding where you've got sort of a grab bag of things? What does that look like?
I think it's both. So let's see if we can like voice over an example. It's not going to be as good because like I'm, you know, just going off the cuff. But let's say I'm selling P Club to like a VP of sales who runs like a mid-market SaaS company. And the email would say something like, hey, Craig, I'm curious to learn more about your sales organization. I talk to a lot of like Series C VPs. And one of the challenges they share with me is it was the go-go days in 2021 and their reps did not need any selling skills. Your product was probably flying off the shelf because the economy was so hot. Now we've transitioned into new market conditions where reps are struggling with uncovering deep business pain. They're struggling to get multi-threaded. They're struggling to defend price through great negotiation strategies. I won't go into too much detail, but we've helped 6 other companies in your space increase bookings by 30%. Curious if upskilling your team is something that you would want to talk with us about. So like had nothing to do with P Club. We're not talking about a learning platform or our online courses. It's like, here's the challenge every other VP of sales in tech is going on right now. Their win rates are suffering. It's due to these skill gaps. And those skill gaps are really specific in language that a SaaS VP uses. By the way, we've helped a bunch of other companies. Here's the result. Do you want to talk about it?
That was awesome. You know, one thing though, I think is really important here, because I do think that there is still a bad email under that sort of methodology, which is when they just lead with benefit, or they lead with sort of statistics that are patently obvious, right? Yeah. So like an example in our space is seriously, you cannot bring up that the buyer is 60% down the buying cycle anymore. And why am I bringing that up? Because what Chris did was he took things that anybody could say, right? But he made the recency. There was this understanding of what's happening now, which was the 2021 to now transition. Just that sentence alone earned credibility, because that's where you get the head nods. Right. Because I mean, shoot, like it's like it's sales tech, like the, the sort of the issues that are happening, you have every vendor using that sort of pain, trying to use it to their advantage. But when you add the elements that Chris did, that changes the game there. That shows a real understanding of what's happening in the market. And it was one sentence.
Yeah.
That was what was so, you know what I mean? That was a beautiful, that was the beauty of that for me, by the way. That is, and by the way, I have deep regrets on advice I gave someone about 4 months ago after hearing that.